There's a lot that we don't talk about, sometimes due to embarrassment, fear, insecurities. We neglect discussions about the most common parts of our lives, things we all deal with, sometimes every day. But on the Caffeinated Gypsy podcast, together, we'll break all of those taboos and talk open and honest about shared experiences. Knowledgeable people relating things you felt but never put into words. Parenting, sex, fitness, energy, anything to connect you to your authentic self, unfiltered. Now, the Caffeinated Gypsy herself, a free spirit, world traveler with a passion for fitness and exploring topics that others might avoid. Hello, and welcome to the Caffeinated Gypsy podcast. I'm Stephanie Cotton, your host. Thank y'all so much for being with me today. I am really excited about this new series, Women Who Inspire. I know so many amazing women, and it's so awesome to be able to share them with you. So today we're going to be talking with Whitney Fenton. She is the FitWit on Instagram, and she is a chakra expert. She is a holistic health coach, so she deals with nutrition. She's also a yoga instructor and just an all-around amazing human being. And we are going to be chatting with her today, and she's going to share with you her very inspiring story about how she really got catapulted into her own healing journey, and now she shares all of this knowledge with other women. She's pretty amazing. You guys are going to love her. Before we get started, just a few updates of what we got going on. Coffee is going strong. So we have three blends out right now. The house blend, which is always charged with quartz crystal, sound charged, smudged. I'm using Element of Sage smudge bundles. And if you haven't tried them, go check them out because they're amazing. And I actually just got Elements of Sage fall bundle, and it's super magical. So I've been smudging everything with that. I'm probably like over smudging. But anyways, you can check those out on Elements of Sage. And what else? We've got the fall blend, so the magic and spice, and that's going to go through October 31st, and then that will not be available until next fall again. So get your pumpkin flavor in now. And Ritual, this is the newest blend. This is a very, very concentrated blend of coffee. You can learn all about it on the website, but this is a really good blend for rituals, meditation, or if you just really need to like pull your energy in and really focus on something, this is the blend to get. So lots of fun stuff going on with that. I have, oh my gosh, so many things are going on. We're going to leave it at that though for today. I really want to jump in and talk to Whitney. I want you guys to hear her story. So we're going to go ahead and get to that. At the end of this, she's going to give you all of her information, and I'm also going to put it in the show notes because you're definitely going to want to go follow my girl on Instagram. Her stories are awesome. Her food is amazing. I actually just started doing, she has an online like fitness platform where she shares all of her meal plans and her yoga videos. Guys, she has like yoga videos that are like 7 minutes long. So if you just have one of those days where you just need to move but don't have a lot of time, she has it all set up for you. So anyways, I'm going to stop rambling on about how awesome she is, and we're just going to jump into the interview with her. Hello, Whitney. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Hi, excited to be here.
Yeah. So why don't you fill everybody in with what exactly you do?
So I am basically a virtual health coach at this point. I do a lot of online workouts and meal plans for people. And then I also host live retreats in various locations.
You're like all over.
Go ahead.
You're like all over the place.
All over the place. Yeah, but I love it that way.
That's awesome.
Might be my root chakra being a little unbalanced, but I think it's really fun. My main focus is the chakra system, balancing the chakra system, and also detoxifying the body. So those are my two big passions that I incorporate into both my virtual stuff and my retreats and workshops.
Awesome. So I'm always curious, like when I talk to people, like how they got started. And I know we talked about this like personally before we got started, but do you want to share with everybody what really catapulted you like into all of this? Because I feel like whenever you go into specifically chakra work, there's a reason. Like there's something that sort of like pushes you over the edge where you're like, okay, I got to deal with my shit now.
Everything. Yeah. Yeah, let's get right into it, I guess, huh? So in 2013, I was actually left at the altar. I had a wedding, a destination wedding in Cancun, you know, with all my closest friends and family. And it was just the worst day of my life, but it really catapulted what I do now. So I'm actually very grateful for it. But yeah, about 2 hours before the wedding, the groom kind of had a really crazy freak out. And yeah, the wedding was off. It was crazy. Like my sister called the wedding coordinator, and this memory is so vivid because it was just like, I felt like I was in the middle of a movie or something.
Yeah.
She picked up the phone to call the wedding coordinator and was like, the wedding is off. And I was like,
oh my gosh.
So without getting like too into detail, he basically, you know, had a substance abuse problem and you know, throwing phones, and I wasn't Christian enough and all of these things. And so I left him to have his temper tantrum in our room, and I put on my wedding dress and chugged a bottle of champagne straight out of the bottle.
Oh, wow.
and threw my party anyway. So I obviously didn't have the ceremony, but I had the reception. And the next morning I woke up in between was supposed to be my maid of honor and her husband, still in my wedding dress, and just being like, what the hell just happened? Like, oh my God, my life, my whole like plan for my life is just like completely not happening. What the hell am I going to do? And so I actually traded in our honeymoon suite and stayed in a different hotel, and I call it my Mexicoma, if you've seen the Sex and the City, the first movie.
Yes.
I can relate a little too deeply to that one.
Yeah.
So I checked into a hotel, and I literally stayed there for 5 days, refusing to come home until he checked into rehab. And he finally did that, so I felt safe to come home. And I was just like, holy shit, we just bought this house together. He moved me to Bakersfield, California, who, if you know where that is, like the asshole of California.
Yeah, there's like nothing.
California to be specific. I was like, so I'm like, fuck, I gave up my job to work for him. I was like, what am I going to do with my life? Like, holy shit, I just felt so just, you know, lost and scared and sad and all of those emotions, you know, guilty, fearful, all of it.
Yeah.
And so I threw myself into yoga and got really, really passionate about yoga. I'd already been practicing for a few years, but not, you know, it was just a workout. It was just something I added into my like workout regimen. And I was going like twice a day and just like in Shavasana, just tears pouring down my face.
Oh.
And I finally was visiting my friend down in LA and walked into a yoga studio down there, Yoga Works, and it was this big sign that said, you know, yoga teacher training, Costa Rica, and it started the day he got out of rehab. And I was like, well, if that isn't a sign from the universe, I don't know what is. So I went to Costa Rica for a month and did my teacher training, and that's where I was introduced to the chakras. And obviously my second chakra and heart chakra were just completely spinning backwards and out of whack. And we had this magical shaman come, and it was like literally she would just showed up for me because she was like, I can only take 3 people. I'm only here, you know, for 4 hours or something like that. And she was like, she like picked me. Like, I didn't even have to be like, I need this so bad.
Oh, wow.
Like, she just gave me this huge hug. She says, I don't know what happened to you, but I can just see that you're out of whack. So she did this beautiful shamanic ceremony on me, got me all aligned, and I literally was like floating afterwards, feeling all euphoric. Yeah. But, you know, only for about 24 hours, because then she's gone and I'm still dealing with my shit. Yep. And so that's when I was like, I need to dive deeper into this stuff. And that's really what got me into obviously teaching yoga, and then also studying the chakras relentlessly, like more so for the work for myself. You know, I do tons of journaling and meditating and, you know, specific practices, eating specific foods. And it really just has made me feel so much better.
That's awesome.
And now I want to teach other people because it's just pure magic.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I resonate with that very deeply just from my own journey. I feel like once you like find that key, you're like, oh my God, I have to share it with everybody now.
Yeah, totally.
Because it's like,
find all the chakras.
yeah. Well, and it's so funny. Like people spend all this money to go to like therapy and things, and I'm 100% on board with therapy, but it's like you can talk about it all day long, but if you don't start aligning your energy and pulling all that crap out of your chakras, it doesn't matter because it just sits in your chakras.
Totally. And like, I don't want to have to wait to go until my therapist has an appointment. Like I need the tools to help myself right now.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And so that's what it is. It's really like my little toolbox that I'm like, oh, I'm feeling fearful. What is that? Like, that's got to be something in my root chakra. Why, you know, is this when the shadow side serves me, or is this something that I really need to look at and dive deep into, you know?
Yeah. I think
so anyway, it's really helped me a ton.
That's awesome. What you mentioned, like the shadow side, I always love to talk about that because I feel like people get really freaked out about that. How was that for you? Was that something you were already really comfortable with, or is it something you had to like learn to become comfortable with?
Totally had to learn. Like, who wants to look at their shit? Not me. I want everything to be unicorn and rainbows.
Right.
But that incident, I don't know what to call it anymore.
Yeah.
The anti-wedding kind of forced me to look at it, right? Like, I was like living in my shadow side. I was afraid. I felt, you know, guilty for making everybody fly down to Cancun. You know, that was like a $3,000 a couple trip, you know. That's not cheap to up and go. I was obviously ashamed. Like, it just, all of it. I was in so much grief. So I was really, really, truly forced to look at that shadow side. And I really, it's not as scary as you think when you start to uncover it. It's really just our little wounded selves, like hiding in the closet. And you just have to go and get her and hug her and say, it's going to be okay.
Yes.
And, but is it fun to look at? Absolutely not. Is it, you know, fun to journal about? Absolutely not. But the other side of it is the light. And that's what's so magical about it.
Yeah.
And until we deal with our shadow sides, we're going to keep getting into those bad relationships. We're going to keep eating foods that aren't nurturing us. We're going to keep doing all this shit that's holding us back because that's our shadow side, you know, living for us.
Yeah.
So it's so important to, you know, look at her and be like, hey, I see you and it's okay. And I'm an adult now and let me take your hand.
Totally. Oh my gosh. Yes. It's so funny because like so in my background, I was in school to be a counselor and you do all this like inner child work. And I was like, this is chakra work. All we're doing is chakra work. But it's so hard because you're literally, I mean, that's how I work with myself and my clients. I'm like, okay, you're going to go into this meditation. You're going to find that little girl. And, you know, then all the waterworks start and you're like, okay, we found it. Now we can start unpacking all of it.
Yeah, I even named mine's little. Mine's little Whit.
Oh, love it. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, there she is again. Okay, let's give her a hug.
Yeah.
Let's work this out.
Totally. So like when you started doing your chakra work, did you immediately start using like food, or is that something that you kind of discovered a little while after?
I think that was the most natural for me, actually. Food's always been something. So I struggled a lot with like constipation and stuff like that in my younger years. I don't want to say I had an eating disorder, but I mean, now that I'm older, I kind of did. Like I would starve myself and then punish myself. And, you know, then I'd gorge and then I'd be like, oh, now I can't eat the next day. So I had a really rough relationship around food, you know, in my teens and early 20s. And I went to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition when I was, I think, 26, 27, something like that. And it just really turned everything around for me. Like my relationship with food, it wasn't a reward or a punishment. It was nourishment, you know? And once I started learning that, I was like, oh, like, you know, food is amazing. And so when I started getting into the chakra system, and first of all, the colors, and I'm mostly plant-based anyway, so that actually was like the most fun and the easiest kind of way for me to practice that self-love, practice getting into alignment, that sort of thing. I also love to cook for other people. That's like my friends call me the kitchen witch.
I love it.
Because that's like where I create my spells, you know? Like, I love like making beautiful food for people, you know, and just infusing that with my love. So yeah, the chakra thing, the food, I think is what really came naturally to me.
Yeah. Nice. And so when you work with people, is it always like they always do the food with you? Or are there some people who are like, oh, I don't really want to do that. I just want to do like chakra work without the food?
Yeah. I think it's mostly about the food. People really come to me for the food. Because I do a lot of like, I come up with specific meal plans for you. Mm-hmm. I come up with like an exercise regimen for you.
Nice.
So it's really, they kind of come to me more for like maybe detoxification or weight loss or whatever their goal is. And then I kind of turn them on.
You sneak it in there.
I
love it. You're like, you don't know this, but I'm about to fix your chakras.
Yeah, exactly. Because like it's a little woo-woo for people, right? So
totally.
People in like my yoga industry, that they don't dive as deep into that. And they especially, most recently I've started to hear people talk about the shadow sides. Mm-hmm. But for so long it was like, researching it and looking for stuff, and that was not what people were talking about. They were talking about, all the rainbows and unicorns, which is so awesome. Like that's what you can get to. But I feel like you need to do the work in order to get there. It's not just, I'm doing my chakras now, everything is wonderful.
Yeah, no. And I think you bring up a really good point. It hasn't been until the last few years where you really even started to see a lot of stuff about chakras. Because like I know when I started my journey, I had to do a lot of digging. And even like, you would think naturally like people that did yoga, that would be like all about the chakras. And I would go to yoga studios and I would be like, please, we're going to do chakra stuff. And they would be like, no, especially in the Western hemisphere, like it's very fitness oriented. It's not as much about the energy and healing or anything like that. So I think, the fact that you've kind of helped pioneer that, because you've been doing this a while. You're not exactly new to this.
Yeah, well, I did my teacher training. Yeah, so I did my teacher training in 2013, and I literally have been just like obsessed with it since then. Yeah. And on my teacher training, they introduced it, but I think we spent one day covering all 7, and I'm just like, wait a minute.
Oh yeah.
I need more.
Yeah. Have you read that book, Eastern Body, Western Mind?
Ooh, no. But I'll put it on my list.
It's a really good one to read. So I think her name is Judith. I forget her last name. I'll email it to you. But she basically breaks down all of the chakras from a psychology perspective.
Ooh, I love it.
So she takes you through each chakra and each developmental stage.
I love that.
It's really cool. Yeah. So she actually talks about how your root chakra starts forming in the womb and how trauma to the mother when she's pregnant or any type of fear she has goes right over. It's fascinating, but it really helped me like solidify like some of my own stuff. I was like, oh, well, this makes so much sense now.
Yeah, definitely send me that one, because I talk about, one of my exercises for people to do, and in fact, anybody listening, this might be fun for you to do if it's available, but go and have a conversation with your mom, not about your actual birth story, but about while she was pregnant with you, like how was life, like did she eat a shit ton of Mexican food, like that could explain your cravings.
Yeah.
Or like, was there trauma, like was everything okay with mom and dad, did you have a big move, was she happy at her job?
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff can really, you have no idea why you're like anxious or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, because your mom was when you were still in the tummy.
Totally.
I love Anatomy of the Spirit by Carolyn Myss.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think that one's really good because that one actually talks about Christianity and Judaism. So it like really kind of is like it's all the same thing. Like we're all one. Like it's all. It's not like if you do chakras, you can't be a Christian or you know what I mean. Like they really all have very similar teachings, and so I think she really did that beautifully in that book.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a really good one. Yeah. So with your detoxification program, like what exactly are you doing with that? Share with me.
So I have just like a general, I call it like a virtual yoga studio. So I just have like a general yoga studio that you can sign up for. I have detox meal plans, detox yoga flows, or just slim down meal plans, whatever you're looking for. So that's just kind of like go sign up and
it's super easy.
Do your own thing.
Yeah, I actually just did that. It's so easy, you guys. Like, and it's like so affordable. Girl, it's so crazy affordable. I was like, wait a minute. I get all these workouts and all these meal plans, and you're like, oh, this one's for detoxify. And I was like, does she realize the price she put on this thing? It's such a good deal.
I know, but my main goal is for everybody to feel amazing and just get a little bit of movement in their day and get more fucking plants on their plate.
Yes. Eat a fucking salad.
So I want it accessible.
So
then I work with one-on-one clients also, and that's
Nice.
when I do like a very specific meal plan. I usually start you on a 3 to 5 day detox, just to like reset your body.
Yeah.
And then we work out live together 2 to 3 times a week, like virtually live.
Nice.
So it's still online. And it just depends on everybody's goals. So everybody's different. Everything's customized. And then the days that we're not working out live online, I give you something to do that day. And it could be as simple as taking a 20-minute walk or something like that. Really, it's just to get some movement in.
Right. Because you're really big on people just moving.
Just move your body and eat a fucking salad.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I love about you. It's so, you make it seem so easy, and it's like there's not a judgment there. Because sometimes, you feel like, oh, like I couldn't get in an hour workout, or I couldn't go to the yoga studio day. And then you're kind of like, oh, I'm embarrassed to go back because they know I didn't go. But with you, it's like, you have a 7-minute workout. If anything, just move your body for 7 minutes. And it's not like, even if you do anything today, eat a fucking salad.
Yes, exactly. My rules are simple. Drink enough water, eat a fucking salad, and move your body every day, even if it's only for 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And your mood changes. I mean, like, once you start to realize, like, wow, I only could squeeze in 15 minutes today, but my whole day just got better and brighter. Like, you start to realize that we're busy. Like, everybody has. And if they don't, I don't know I can't help you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's about prioritizing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. And you have some retreats coming up in Costa Rica. What are you going to be doing there?
Alrighty. So I'm going to end my USA tour, I'm calling it.
Yeah.
in Wisconsin, in Door County. So I have a chakra workshop there.
Fun.
October 20th. And that's just like a 3-hour overview of the chakras. We do a chakra flow. I make you one of my favorite smoothies, that sort of thing. You get a meal plan, a 7-day meal plan to help you realign your chakras. And then I have a Taste of Costa Rica retreat in November.
Nice.
And then I have a chakra retreat in February. Those are both in Costa Rica. Amazing.
Nice. Awesome.
And then I have another one in April. So I have one in November, February, and April chakra retreats in Costa Rica. And then another chakra retreat in Door County, Wisconsin next June. And then Lake Tahoe in September.
Awesome.
So, yeah, come visit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, who doesn't need to go to Costa Rica?
I know. Like, monkeys really help align your chakras.
I'm sure. Oh my gosh. So tell everybody where they can find you if they want to come check out your meal plans or your fitness plans.
So really, I'm an IG, Instagram maniac. So IG's the best place to find me. I'm at The Fit Whit. And I have a link in there that links to all my retreats. It links to all my workshops. It links to my virtual wellness studio. And you can message me straight from there too.
Awesome. And you guys, if you have not started following her on Instagram, go follow her because she posts like the yummiest food, like all the time. Like I was telling her, so I keep joking about this. I became like an accidental vegetarian. Like it wasn't like a plan. I was just like, I'm not going to eat meat. And then I stopped and I was like, I feel really good. Like, and I don't crave it. It's crazy.
Awesome.
But that's how I was like looking at all your food. And I was like, everything's so, one, it's easy. Because you get this idea that it's going to be, you think it's going to be like complicated and it's really not. And it's so good. Like,
yay!
It's just so good. Like you don't feel like you're missing things, you know?
Yes. Well, healthy food does not have to be hard or boring.
No. No, not at all.
Another philosophy.
So go check her out on Instagram for sure. And you'll love her stories. And your dog is like adorable.
Oh, woo!
Oh my gosh. If you don't follow for any reason, just to see the Frenchie, it's so adorable. Oh my gosh.
So cute, woo.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Well, thank you so much for being on today. I really appreciate it. It was so good to hear your story and hear all about what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
All right.
For all the people who judge without knowing, just throw the peace on, tell them good vibes only.